want to know what gets there.
Damn. What's up, Execrate? Andrew, Bass Truther, One Man. What's up? What's up? I'm thinking of connecting the mic. What the fuck? It says transmission unstable. Okay, it went away. Let me know if the stream starts to glitch up or whatever, because apparently I had a notification that it was a bad connection, but hopefully not. Let me just make sure I got flyers and stuff. Oh man, I have all this messed up. Okay. Okay. I think it was good, actually. Oof. Yeah, everything's good. Okay, that's good. Alright, I'll show you guys the setup real quick. For those of you that haven't seen it, I'm sure most of you have. But this is what the setup looks like today. Let me go ahead and switch this. So I'm at UCR today, as you guys can tell from the title and the thumbnail. So you got a lot of students passing by right here, and that's where I'm set up right there. So that's the question of the day. Are you honest and open-minded? So yeah, we got a lot of students today, so hopefully we should get a couple of chats today. So yeah, so that's what it looks like. Alright, so I've been going through a lot of changes in my personal life, which is one of the main reasons why I haven't been uploading. So basically I ended up moving. So I don't live in San Bernardino anymore. I moved counties actually. So it actually worked for the best. So I actually moved back to LA County. So I moved closer to downtown, which is, it benefits me in the long run, not only because I mainly work out of LA, so close to LA, you know, basically we're based out of LA. So, you know, most of my work, you know, I had to drive, you know, over an hour to 2 hours, you know, commute, you know, just to get to work, you know. And that's just one way. So we're talking 4 or 5 hours, you know, round trip. So yeah, so all the packing I had to be doing, the work I've had to manage, I've just been busy like crazy, you know, especially, you know, moving when you have 2 little ones. Pretty hectic. So that's one of the main reasons why I hadn't been uploading. And also I just took some time off as well. I kind of needed like about a week or two basically to unpack and basically to settle in, you know, at the new place. And yeah, I'm hoping that this move is gonna be, you know, beneficial to me and my personal life with my work, and also for activism too, because now not only am I gonna be closer to like universities like USC, UCLA, you know, I'm also not too far from UCR, you know. I mean, I'm about 40 miles from there now. I used to be about 16 miles, so a little bit more than double. But I wanted to come back here just to check it out, to see how the route's gonna be, you know, especially because I already know how the layout is here, where I need to park, you know, where I could set up. So yeah, I just wanted to like kind of, you know, come back here and check it out and to see how my commute's gonna be coming here. And it's not too bad. It was about a 45-minute drive when it used to be like 25 minutes. So again, but I will be going to USC more, I believe, because that university is about 20 miles from where I live now. So the only thing is, you know, you have to deal with kind of like LA traffic. But other than that, you know, it should be good overall. So hopefully, you know, hopefully I can get back on track. I know if any of you have moved recently, you know how it is to move. You got to pay first and last month, so you're basically paying 2 months of rent. So I had to pay close to like 5 G's. So you got to think about, you know, how much work I've had to do to basically be able to, you know, to afford to move. So yeah, I'm still gonna have to be working often. So hopefully I'm still able to upload at least once a week, but I'll at least try, you know, at least once every 2 weeks, you know, for the most part. But hopefully I could get back on track, you know. Yeah, it's impossible to come out and do this when you have so much shit going on in your life. Like, again, moving, working, you know, bills, you know, all this shit, you know. So just a lot of expenses that I've had to deal with that I just had to like focus on work for a minute, you know. And, you know, yeah, so that's one of the main reasons why I haven't been active. But hopefully we're past that lump now. Well, I'm past that lump now. But yeah, let me just check out the chat. I'm gonna be reading the chat from my phone. That way I can scroll back, because I can't scroll with this with the chat on the screen. I literally missed the whole wave of students before setting up. I think obviously it was. Check out the chat real quick. Johnny775, what's up, broski? What's your opinion on the eclipse? Is the moon blocking out the sun? Honestly, when it comes to the luminaries, you know, I don't really have an opinion, just because, you know, in 3 dimensions to be able to know exactly what's going on. So it's just a visual phenomenon that we observe, all these eclipses and stuff like that. So when it comes to that, to be honest, if I'm being honest, I don't know. You know, at the end of the day, it's irrelevant to establishing the dimensions and shape of the Earth. So I mean, with, you know, that's what this channel's about, you know, to basically expose the globe Earth using physics, you know. So when it comes to the luminaries, you know, I feel like that's kind of a red herring when it comes to that subject. So I honestly don't, if I'm being honest, I don't know what's causing the eclipses, right? So yeah. But Pied Piper, what's up? One man, it's mad how we all accepted the sheer luck that the moon ends up at the same size as the Earth just by chance alone. It's like trillions to one that it has ended up like that. Oh yeah. Obviously, like how we only see one side of the moon, you know, and obviously it spins exactly the same as it rotates around the Earth, so it always shows that face, you know. Like the chances of that happening, all of that, like the chances are probably 1,000,000,000 to 1, right? But that's what's happening, right? And people believe it, so it's kind of like the same logic there, you know. Good point. What's up, Andrew? I didn't see the eclipse. No, I heard about it. I think I seen, like, you know, a couple of thumbnails, you know, in my feed about it. But to be honest, it didn't even interest me at all. Like, I didn't even look into it or nothing. I didn't watch any videos on it. I don't even know where it happened. Like, because I know it happens only on certain states or certain parts of the Earth. It doesn't happen, you know, on the whole Earth. Which, if you think about it, it should. How can, you know, a shadow from that far away cast a really small shadow, like in comparisons to the size of these, so, you know, the moon that they're telling us and stuff like that. You know, the shadows that are being casted don't make any sense, right? But again, they have an explanation and people just buy it, so, you know, that's up to them. William, do you communicate with Wits Gets It? No, I don't communicate with him at all. I'm surprised you don't collaborate with him. Well, to be honest, I wouldn't collaborate with anybody that not only claims that the Earth is motionless, but also doubles down on it, you know? Because I understand a lot of people that don't understand when it, you know, the motionless Earth, you know, but they'll still claim it, right? I understand there's a lot of people like that, and obviously they're just confused. But when it comes to characters like Witsit, they're doubling, tripling down on it, you know? So that is a step further now, you know? Now, you know, I gotta be cautious because, you know, this is simple to understand. So people that are doubling down, tripling down, and pushing this motionless Earth with their magical force, whatever that force may be, whether electrostatics or gravity, you know, doesn't matter. I would be very skeptical of anybody pushing that. Again, I'm not saying everybody that's pushing it is controlled, or, you know, I'm just saying that it's false. You know, the motionless Earth has no physics, you know, to back it up. You know, there's no such thing as a downwards vector. There's no acceleration down. So people that are skeptical, you know, but yeah, I personally wouldn't collaborate with anybody that claims the Earth is motionless definitively, you know what I'm saying? Especially if they just hand wave dismiss all the practical demonstrations that show that the Earth is in motion, you know? So again, my best advice to anyone that's in this subject is you be very weary of characters or anyone pushing a motionless Earth, you know? Again, I'm not saying they're controlled, I'm just saying that they're wrong, you know, provably so, you know? And again, how do we know that? Real quick, when you have an air bubble, you know, when you have an air bubble in water, here we go, and you accelerate that bottle, the air bubble reacts to that acceleration being a force. So air bubble within water will always react to a force, and the way it will react, it will move in the direction water, the air bubble in the water bottle filled with water, and you can see the air bubble reacting to a force, aka acceleration. Now, if I was to ask you guys, in what direction am I accelerating this bottle, or in what direction is the force being applied, down or up, relative to how the bottle's positioned right now? You know, the obvious answer is down, because the air bubble is showing you the direction of the force. You know what I'm saying? So now when people are claiming acceleration down in free fall, we should witness something similar to this, or pretty much the same. In other words, we should witness an air bubble getting pushed down in the direction of the acceleration or the direction of the alleged force, right? But when we actually go out in reality to see if that's the case, let me see if it's this one. So here we can see the air bubble rising up, but as soon as I release it, the air bubble starts to decelerate. Why does it start to decelerate? Because it's in this trajectory up, and as soon as I remove the force, or basically me holding it because I'm connected to the earth, we can see instantaneously that the air bubble no longer has that upwards thrust anymore. We could see that it's still slightly moving up because it's decelerating. Matter cannot go from 0 to 100 without going from 1 through 99, and it cannot go from 100 to 0. So again, everything has to decelerate. Everything that has motion has to decelerate before it reaches 0, basically, or motionless, you know. But again, we should see this air bubble get pushed down as soon as I release it, but we don't see that. We see the air bubble cease in its motion up because there is no more force acting on it. You know, it's literally that simple. You know, and anybody hand wave dismissing this, again, I will be very wary of these characters. You know, again, the controlled opposition is not the Flat Earth Society. You know, the Flat Earth Society is literally just propaganda for the real controlled opposition. The irony is the controlled opposition is pushing the Flat Earth Society as controlled opposition to basically hide behind it. You know, it's pretty crazy. You know what I'm saying? But that's the reality. That's what's happening. I mean, reality doesn't lie. People lie. So now, when it comes to people making claims about reality, and reality contradicts those claims, who are you going to believe? Are you going to trust your common sense and reality, what it's showing you? Or are you just going to believe somebody telling you otherwise? Are we going to go back to the globe earth mentality where we deny water being level as being as part of our experience and what we can test every day, over somebody telling us that the earth is a ball? So it's basically the same logic when it comes to the motion of the earth. So again, I'm not going to say any names, but anybody, again, pushing this motionless earth and doubling down and hand wave dismissing the practical demonstrations that show that the earth is in constant motion, that's what you call the gatekeeper. You know what I'm saying? So Alex Jones, Joe Rogan, you know, supposedly they're gatekeepers. They're very low-level gatekeepers because they are gatekeepers at the end of the day. But you got gatekeepers within Flat Earth as well, or people are going to deny that. Are people going to deny that we have gatekeepers in Flat Earth, or Flat Earthers that are gatekeepers? If people are going to deny that, then you're completely lost. You have no independent thinking. You don't think for yourself, and you're just being swayed. You're just following the crowd. You know, you don't understand this subject, and you just want to be part of a group. That's the reality. If you don't understand, if you don't see that there's controlled opposition within Flat Earth, you've completely lost the plot. You have no clue what the fuck you're talking about, and you're just in this for some weird reason. I don't even know why you will be in this subject. You know, if you're just following people, you know. You're literally jumping from one belief to another if you believe the earth is a motionless flat plane. You know? It's no different than the globe. Same physics, same cartoon physics, and it has nothing practical, you know, to back it up. So let me see. One man, the moon is 3,474 kilometers wide. In the shadow it makes is only around 500 miles. Exactly. You know, again, that defies physics. You know, a shadow can never be smaller than the object that's creating the shadow. Test this for yourself. Try to make a shadow smaller than the object that's creating it. That's impossible. You know. So yeah, we have some students passing by, so. But again, they want flat earthers to focus on eclipses like that, you see? Because now we're going from physics to vision now. And that's what they want. They want people debating visual interpretation. So now you have motionless flat earthers mainly giving their explanations of their visual interpretations versus globe earthers and their explanations of visual interpretations. And basically they're both full of shit. Nobody's talking about physics. Nobody's really focusing on what debunks the globe, in other words, especially flat earthers. So all these flat earthers are just egging on these fucking perspective observations, eclipses, and you know, celestial navigation and all this bullshit, calculating the angle of the star to prove that the earth is level and all this bullshit. Is just literally, they're just milking, you know, money out of people, you know. It's pretty crazy, you know, and that's what's happening, you know. So let me see. What is the moon, right? Yeah, nobody knows what the moon is, again. So trying to use the moon to prove flat earth or to prove globe earth, it's retarded. It's retarded both ways, you know. And again, I'm not saying all this shit to insult people, you know. I'm just being honest, you know. Literally being honest. You know, if you feel offended or you feel attacked for some reason, then you gotta check in with yourself. That's a personal issue. Just speaking the facts and highlighting what I'm seeing, you know. And if anybody disagrees with that, you know, you let me know. Let me know why you disagree, you know. Do you have any physics to back up your claim to why you disagree that the earth is in motion, you know? Why do you dismiss that the earth is in motion? Is it because you were told? So just like when you were told about the globe, just because you were told? Do you have anything practical, right? I guarantee you don't. Relative density disequilibrium vanishes in free fall. So if RDD was the cause for things to rise and fall, if the medium is responsible for pushing things that are lighter and pushing things that are down, that are heavier, then we would still observe those effects in free fall. Because apparently it has nothing to do with the force. Apparently it's just the medium. Apparently water is like AI, you know? Apparently that's what motionless flat earthers are claiming now, in a way, when they claim AI, the air also, and they somehow know that things that are lighter to push them up and things that are heavier to push them down. So I don't know how the fuck water is able to push things up and down simultaneously, but that's what people have to believe, which is fucking retarded. A multi-directional force that affects water and air to be able to move objects up and down at the same time, like that's, again, I'm not saying this to insult anyone, but that's fucking retarded, you know. But again, you got people doubling down and making 3-hour fucking streams, 4-hour streams about it. Like, what the fuck? Like, if people can't see that these motherfuckers are literally just milking money out of people and taking advantage of people, no different than globe earthers and NASA, in other words, that just take advantage of people and their ignorance to take their money. That's exactly what these motionless flat earthers are doing, especially the ones that have established platforms that are monetized, that have Patreons and have all this fucking monetary around them. Again, which I have no issue with, because I know how hard it is, especially if you live in the States here, especially in California. The fucking rent is fucking ridiculous. So I have nothing against people doing this, you know, for a living. What I have a problem is people misrepresenting the facts. You know, that's what I have an issue with, is especially if you're taking money from people, misrepresenting the facts. I have an issue with that, you know. And you know, obviously I can't tell you what to do, but what I can do is try to inform others of what I'm seeing and what's being displayed. You know, that's all I can do, is, you know, give my opinion and basically based on the facts, and tell you why I think, you know, why I think the way I do. You know. But yeah, it's pretty bizarre to see. What's crazy is that all the channels, all the big channels that are making money off of this, obviously they have the free time to do this, because obviously they're getting money, right? It's funny how I don't see an activist channel that's actually monetized and is able to make a living, you know, doing this while, you know, like while doing activism. How is it that all these channels that are able to make a living off of this, they're all echo chambers? Not only that, they're all motionless flat earthers. Kind of weird how all the channels that are established and are actually doing this for a living, none of them, in my opinion, are genuine. And again, that doesn't mean you're controlled. That just means that you're being driven by money, by desires, by your wants. You're not being driven by truth. You know, you're being driven by all these other facets that basically, again, you could have probably started genuine, but now you're talking a lot of shit. You know, especially if you claim the earth is motionless. People that are still saying that shit, it's like, what the fuck? Are you serious? Like, you know, it's fucking weird. You know, that's all I can say. You know, and all I can do is call them out. You know, and I don't even have to call them out by name. You know, I just gotta state the facts. And if you're smart enough, you know, people are, you know, I like to think that if you're at least watching this channel, you're somewhat, you know, somewhat smart, right? Again, no disrespect, but I expect you guys to see it too, because it's so obvious. It's literally so obvious, unless you have a bias. If you have a bias to defend for whatever reason, for maybe you got an emotional attachment to a certain character or whatever, then that's your personal issue. That's not gonna. And it just takes people to understand and accept, you know, and that's it. That's it. The faster people do that, the faster this is gonna move forward, you know. So yeah, man, it's pretty crazy. I got you. All right, see you on Tuesday for sure. Let me see if I have some flyers in here. Ooh, I do not. Luckily,
voting opens April 29th. So it's like.
I have some in my backpack.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Wait, how did you go?
Put them in here. Now I just gotta wait. Take a look.
Did you see my poster? Well, like, I'm asking, like, is that like
Beyond belief, there's no physical measurement of downward acceleration. That's right, Andrew. A vector requires motion. That's true. Again, you can't have a motion vector without motion. So people are claiming. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like that is the definition of crazy. Let's be real. You know, when you believe in something that contradicts your reality, that is the definition of crazy. You know, and again, nothing personal. You know, but it's just, you know, people are thinking crazy nowadays. You know. Hey, how's it going? You want to give this a shot? So I'm asking a couple of questions to see how open-minded people are.
Oh, okay.
Would you consider yourself an open-minded person?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, from 1 through 10, how open-minded would you say you are?
I feel like I'm pretty open-minded, like 9. I don't want to say 10.
That's really,
I think everyone has room for improvement.
Yeah, I agree. So from 1 through 10, how open-minded would you say you are?
I'd say I'm a good 10.
Oh, wow. That's the first 10 I actually get, to be honest.
100%.
Okay, we're going to test that to see if it's true. So I'm going to ask you one more question. So if your entire life and existence was based on a lie, would you want to know, or would you rather continue living the lie?
Like, what do you mean based on a lie?
Like if your whole existence of being a human being was based on a lie. Of what you think you know what it means to be human. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I would want to know.
Yeah, you would want to know your true self for it.
To know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I'd find out.
Exactly.
I'd find
Especially if there was an answer that was pretty simple. Earth is a ball,
Oh,
a sphere in outer
Yes.
space.
Yes.
Okay, so this is an official NASA image from 2012, and they admit that they don't take real photographs of Earth. So everything that they produce for us is a CGI cartoon, basically. So if I was to ask you, why do you think NASA or any other space agency, for that matter, doesn't produce real photographs of the Earth as a ball? Why do you think?
Because that could be fun. I've been trying to get this through.
Oh, okay, so you've looked into that. Okay, so the reality is that this image defies physics. Yeah. You want to know how we know that? NASA, they claim to have satellites orbiting the Earth, right?
Yes.
So they need to know the radius of orbit. So they need to know the radius of the Earth if they're supposedly going around it. So they do tell us the radius of the Earth is 3,959 miles, which means there has to be curvature every mile, and every mile has to increase because they're claiming it's a curve, not a slope. So in the first mile, there's an 8-inch drop, second mile, 32 inches, and by the third mile, there should be 6 feet of measurable curvature. So if we actually went out to a giant body of water, like a lake, for example, and to physically measure the surface, that, you know, it's going to be parallel anything horizontal above it, because the physics of water always finds its level when contained. Have you guys ever heard of that? Water always finds its level, right, when contained. Again, so if the physics of waters was going to show us that it's going to be parallel regardless of the distance, but they're trying to tell us that every lake on Earth is bending 6 feet in 3 miles and increasing more and more. So in 10 miles, 66 feet. So that's over a 6-story building, you know, in over 10 miles, which is a physical impossibility based on our understanding of how water behaves. So this will be the #1 experiment to debunk the globe, a physical measurement of the Earth. In other words, a body of water. So if I was to ask you guys respectfully, what's the #1 proof or reason that makes you believe that the Earth is a ball?
Shit.
Got me there. Well, I would just say, gosh, me and my dad always talk about this. He
Okay.
also thinks that the Earth is flat.
Okay, so flat, I would say it is a psyop. Flat Earth is a psyop. And the reason why is, again, water always finds its level. So level and flat are two completely different things. So that's where the psyop is. Level has to do with orientation. Flat has it. You could have a flat wall, right?
So what do
or
you
a
think it
flat.
is?
So the
I
Earth.
feel-
Also,
I
see,
feel
so
like-
I've heard it's like a donut.
So the Earth is a level plane that's in constant motion. So it's level relative to the plumb, which is the motion of the Earth. So gravity is not a pulling force that brings objects towards the Earth. It's the Earth that's pushing up against everything. So that's what gravity would be. So that's where the flat Earth is a psyop, because over 99% of flat Earthers believe the Earth is motionless, which is retarded. No offense to anyone, but that's the same physics that
That's
globe
not
Earth.
a nice word.
I know it's not, but it's.
I love that word.
There is a lot of controlled opposition, a lot of fake flat earthers that are pushing this motionless flat earth just to make it look ridiculous.
Yeah.
So again, level has to do with orientation, flat doesn't. So flat and motionless, that's not reality.
But not all pictures are CGI.
Oh, yeah, I mean they all are.
Not all of them. Like not all of them from space. Like
Right.
some like when you're about to leave the Earth's
Okay.
atmosphere.
So this one, for example,
Yeah, exactly like this.
how would you describe the horizon in these images? These are 20 miles in the sky.
And it's in the sky, and this is like right when you leave the Earth's atmosphere.
So how would you guys describe the horizon in these images, geometrically?
I would say it's pretty straight.
Horizontal, I would say the
Flat
word
even.
well, horizon, I would say comes from the word horizontal, which means level, which means no curve. So the
Who
horizon.
took these?
Oh, these are high altitude balloon images. Thousands of people have taken these.
Right.
Now, the only place you're ever going to see
Yeah,
curvature
because
of the
sometimes
Earth.
you can see this when you're in a plane.
Yeah, exactly. But the only place you're ever going to see curvature of the Earth is through a wide-angle GoPro lens, because it has a fisheye lens.
Yeah.
It warps horizontal lines, or through CGI images like this, cartoons. So that's the only place you're ever going to see curvature of the Earth, and then it's because it doesn't exist. So you're only going to be able to see it through camera trickery, because the reality is that the Earth is a level plane. So have you guys heard of Euclidean geometry?
Well, can I say something?
Sure. If you have
I
any
don't think
questions.
you need to. I don't think this really proves anything to me, just because like the Earth is huge.
Sure.
The
Well,
camera is not gonna get.
it's not infinitely
exact
huge.
curvature.
It's a radius curvature. Well, it's 8 inches in 1 mile, 32 inches in 2 miles, 6 feet in 3 miles, 66 feet in 10 miles. There's lakes that are over 20 miles
So
across
you would say
easily.
your argument is that if the Earth were truly a sphere,
Then
you
what?
would see a
The
curve?
surface of water should bend like this if the Earth was a sphere. So, like for example, when we have water has
I
to be
see.
contained. So
I
water
see
has
what
to be
you're saying.
exactly physics. So can humans walk on water?
Jesus, Ken.
Maybe.
That's it.
Yeah.
But do you believe Jesus actually walked on water?
so?
I don't think so, because that defies physics. So if people believe that Jesus flew like Superman, would you believe that too? Like let's say they put that in the Bible, that Jesus flew
I'd believe it, yeah.
you believe it?
Something
Based on what though? Why do what?
Based on faith.
Oh, so faith. So that's where this becomes a religion. The globe Earth concept is no different than a religion. Because again, it's claims that
No,
defy
I don't think
physics.
so.
You just said that it has to do
I'm
with
not
faith.
religious, but I'm just saying like people will believe that because they have faith.
Exactly.
In their religion.
Exactly.
But what about me? I don't believe that.
So you don't believe the Earth is a globe, or do you
I
know it
definitely
is?
do believe Earth is a globe because I've taken AP physics.
So-
When you,
okay.
I mean, have you seen, what are they called? You know in physics when you do that experiment where you have the box and there's another box that's cut out? There's a name for it.
Okay.
I'm forgetting what it's called, but it's the same water. I think it's the same concept as the water thing that you were explaining.
Okay.
But like, you know how you were explaining
Sure.
this thing? Like, if you look through it, and it says like what, like 8 inches, right? So like, if that were true, then this experiment, like if you look through like this box, whatever, then you'd be able to see. Oh, and like also like 8 feet away or 8 inches away, there'd be another box or whatever.
So
and
you're
if
saying
this
like
would work, it would drop, but
so
it didn't.
so you're saying kind of like the experiment on Netflix where they shine a laser through a hole and
Oh,
then
it
they put
wasn't
a...
Netflix. I did it.
Oh, great. Well, so basically, when it comes to visual interpretations of stuff like that, first of all, we have refraction that we have to account for.
Well, yeah.
So again, when it comes to just looking at something to physically measure for something, it's always going to be an inconclusive answer. That's why a physical measurement like this will be definitive. But you're never going to see this in the mainstream because this will debunk their own claims. So they're only going to focus on laser experiments or looking through holes and stuff. And then again, because there's refraction, there's always going to be light that's being bent through the atmosphere.
I feel like I trust my physics teachers.
Okay,
And that's why we do all those experiments.
yeah, that's no different
So
than
that
a
we
religious
can-
person trusting a priest.
What?
I don't have to trust
Well,
them.
but
I
the thing is-
understand reality
Yeah.
for myself.
Well, yeah, but that's why they make us do all these experiments so we can see for ourselves.
So is that the only experiment that you could recite?
No, there's a
Can you
there's a
recite?
water one.
Sure.
I can't remember what we did, but no, I can't remember off the top of my
You're
head.
basically trying to convince me, I'm just using it as an example, that you're able to walk on water right now.
Yeah, so-
And that's a physical impossibility, would you agree? Yeah, because you're denser than water and you're just going to go through it. So water has physical properties.
Why don't they just try to
True.
convince you this?
I know, I'm not trying to convince you.
Well, you're defending that belief that, again, that water bends, but it's a physical... never deviate. And if it deviates, that's what we will call a river. So it's going to start to flow, you know. But the water will never be at rest, contained, and deviate. That defies physics. But again, people believe it because that's what we were told when we were 5 years old before our minds were developed. So again, it comes back to control. They lie to us to control us when we're adults, and that's why they lied to us when we were kids. Because an adult like myself will never be convinced in believing that people can fly, that water bends, or that people can walk on water, you know.
So do you think that the sun is also not a sphere?
So the sun is a circle, obviously. What is it in 3 dimensions? I don't know. It's a light that looks like a circle,
What
but
about other planets and stars?
oh, I'm glad you brought them up. So the planets and stars, they're
'Cause
just
you
lights
can see
and
that
yeah.
you can see that yourself.
So this
with
is
your
what the
own
stars
eyes.
actually look like when you zoom into them. They're just twinkling lights that they look like they're in water, but nobody actually knows what they are. So, and this is what the planets look like. They're no different than the stars. So this is using a telescope, by the way. Nah. So it's
Yeah.
optical zoom,
Have
not
you ever
digital.
seen it with your own eyes in a telescope?
Yeah, I actually have a P900 camera, the Nikon. Have you guys heard of that camera?
This one?
Yeah, there you go, the P900, yeah. So I have that camera myself. So this is what they show,
Look through.
and you see
Pretty
this.
powerful. No, well, not exactly like this quality,
Right,
but
you just see a light.
definitely,
A circle, yeah, I agree, we'll see a
it
circle.
would definitely be a lot like closer to this color.
Right,
Yeah,
okay. Well, yeah, at the end of the day,
and it's still a circle.
yeah, this is
Still
a,
very much a sphere.
okay, but I would say it's a circle, definitely, especially this one.
So you think from all angles you can only see? If it were a circle, would it? Don't you think like if you saw it from the other side of the world that you would see this?
I get what you're saying. The thing is that, again, when it comes to the luminaries, nobody actually knows what they actually are, other than this. We can only zoom into them and see, and
So,
just see a twinkling.
if you think
That has
it's
nothing
like-
to do with the dimensions of the Earth.
So if Earth is like this, basically, right? You're saying it's a plane.
It's a plane.
Surface plane.
That
And so
moves.
That goes
This
up.
way?
No, it's
Oh,
pushing up.
up.
It's pushing up against us right now. That's why you have weight.
Where's-
your weight?
where does it
your
cut
mass? Oh, that's a good question. So the Earth is a contained system with outer space, right outside of it. The fact is, the second law of thermodynamics proves that that's impossible because a high pressure system will always move to a lower pressure system if there's no solid barrier separating them. So the tire in a car is able to maintain a higher pressure because it's a completely solid rubber around it. In other words, they're trying to tell us that outer space is a negative pressure next to Earth's 14.7 psi without a solid barrier. That defies physics.
So you're saying there's a barrier somewhere.
Yes. Nobody knows where that barrier is, though.
But-
So because we don't know
So
the
we
dimensions of
haven't
it.
traveled
Exactly.
far enough.
Have you guys heard of the Antarctic Treaty? So it prevents, it's 57 nations, over 57 nations that signed the treaty.
Right.
It prevents
yeah.
any exploration of the
there,
south.
Except for.
Because I
well,
think
guess
we'll find that containment if you ask me. That's why.
Really?
Yes.
So you think the containment's up and below?
We have a ceiling, in my opinion.
But what about? But then there would be other sides too.
I'm sorry?
There would be other sides too. Like Antarctica is both on top and below.
No, you're
like,
talking
what
about the north and south, right? That's
Yeah,
if you.
north and south.
That's if you believe the Earth is a globe. In reality, if the
Right,
north.
but if it was like this, like let's say north and
there's
south is
two
here,
borders
but what
here.
about
Let me show you a map.
Or even corners.
I don't push this map because this is a psyop again,
Really
part of the
everywhere.
flat Earth. But this is a simple explanation of that. Here it is. So north will be a center point, and south will just be a ring. So there's no up and down.
Oh.
It's just so that's what again. This is a psyop too. Nobody knows the full dimensions of the Earth. For all we know, this is all completely wrong too. You know what I'm saying? But everything's here though that they tell us. North America, Mexico.
Wait, this is pretty cool though,
Africa.
because every time I've asked, like the same question you just asked, like I've never considered it from this perspective.
Yeah, water has to be contained. So this is a more reasonable map. Antarctica containing the water, basically. It's a ring around us. And again, the north is just the center point of reference. That's why compasses always point north. And when you go east and west, you're just doing circles.
Is this Africa?
Yes.
This is.
No, this is Africa. This is South America.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is.
The U.S.
Yeah, this is the U.S. and this would be what?
Europe.
Europe
And China and Asia.
But it takes so
Australia.
long to get. Like this doesn't. Wait, why are we so close to them?
Again, this is not a full representation. Again, for all we know, this could be a psyop too.
This is like a boat ride to Europe.
Let me
Asia.
did you guys know that north to south circumnavigation doesn't exist? Nobody's ever done it?
North to south.
Or south to north. So if somebody goes south on a globe, technically you should come back up north, right? If you just go south, Nobody's ever done that. Because what will happen if you just go south on a level Earth? You'll
But
probably hit the
somebody's
container.
gone
East
to
and west are just circles around the center point. Everybody can do that on a level Earth or
Can I
on
take a
globe.
picture of this?
Yeah,
Also?
definitely. Here, I could give you my flyer, and you guys can check out my channel. Here, you guys can share it.
Oh my gosh. Are
Here, let me
a
give you one more.
YouTuber? My dad probably watches you.
Probably.
Is this New Zealand and Australia?
Probably. Australia is right here, actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
very
Why is
interesting.
Australia huge?
Yeah, it is.
Well, I'll definitely think about it. I gotta go to class.
yeah,
Tonga.
definitely. I understand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll think about it.
Definitely, man.
I'll
I'm here
check out
just to
some-
spark
Definitely.
thought.
Yeah. Of course.
Definitely.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for the
much.
chat.
I'm Mia.
I'm
Nice
William.
To meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Yeah, man. Have a good one. Oh, man. All right. All right, that was really good. Being back in over a month. All right. So yeah, I'm glad that more and more people are talking about it. That's for sure. You know. Again, when I highlight that the surface of water doesn't bend, it's like it kind of clicks, you know, for people. Like, oh, like I know what you mean. But then they have all this other, you know, bias, you could say, you know, that just doesn't let them comprehend that simple fact, you know, because it can't be that simple, right? Because there's thousands of scientists, there's different space agencies, we have all these videos, right? And then all of that just clouds the simple fact that water doesn't bend. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I could see that people understand it, but then I can also see all this other, you know, bullshit that they were told that just overpowers the common sense part of the brain, right? Again, people do have common sense. It's just we've been crippled, you know, as a child to not trust our common sense because authority said so, you know. And authority has been doing this for 100+ years. So you better trust authority over your own common sense because if you trust your common sense that contradicts authority, you're gonna get ridiculed, right? And it's literally just bullying tactics to push people into this belief of the globe. And now we're seeing the same thing in this motionless flat Earth. They're trying to bully people that are claiming the Earth has motion, but they're fucking pathetic, you know. Don't be bullied by these morons, you know. Just stick with the facts. And again, the truth is like a lion, right? You don't need to defend it. You just let it loose and it'll defend itself. So that's basically what I'm doing here. I'm just the messenger, you know. I don't need to defend the truth. The truth is gonna defend itself because it's self-evident. it's going to require people to understand it for themselves, you know, and that's the reality. You know, you don't need to defend this. You don't need to just represent it. Just represent the facts, and then people have to sort out their own bias and their own, you know, beliefs, basically. Hi. So yeah, beyond belief, the flat earth advertising campaign is over. People have all sorts of implanted ideas of flat earth now, about floating stationary pizzas with domes and ice walls that there's no conclusive proof of. Exactly. So all the flat earth propaganda already happened. Everybody has heard of flat earth. If you haven't heard of flat earth by now, you must be living under a rock. Literally. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, people have heard of flat earth. People have heard the dumb arguments, retarded ass arguments, and people, you know, the propaganda, you know, is running rampant. You know, people are just, you know, falling for it again. You know, so again, I can only represent reality for what it is, and whether people like it or not, that's their personal issue. You know, so I'm just hope that, you know, more and more people get it, because the more and more people get it, the faster we're gonna see a change, you know. And I want to see a change in my lifetime, you know, because, you know, I'm 32 and I'm only getting older, so I almost feel desperate to come out here sometimes. Not only that, accidents can happen, you know, like a car accident, you know, you could die, you know, from a car accident, you know, just anything can happen, you know. So it's like we have to seize the moment, you know, when we can, you know. Obviously, I've been MIA for a minute, but obviously, you know, I've had some personal issues I had to work with, you know, my life, you know, moving being that main thing. But now that that's over with, now I'm going to try to focus, you know, a little bit more on this, because believe it or not, even though it costs me time and money to come out and do this, and obviously I don't make any money doing this, I lose money doing this, I see it as an investment for the future. You know, so you know, I'm investing my time and I'm investing my money to doing this because I want to see a better future for everyone. You know, I don't want to see people struggling for a roof over their head or for some food on their table. Like, it's heartbreaking to see that, you know, because I know how it is. You know, I struggle myself, you know, having to work and relying on people to hire me, you know, and stuff like that, and relying on money and having to pay bills and all that. It's stressful, you know, and that's no way we should be living. So all of this time that I'm putting into this, all the money that I put into this, I see it as an investment for the future, you know. A lot of people would look at it, oh, you're just losing money, you know, I don't see it that way, you know, because if we don't do this, then nothing's gonna change. We have to step out of our comfort zone. We gotta do things that we wouldn't normally do if we wanna see change. You know, you gotta be the change to make a bigger change. If you're not making a change, then nothing's gonna change. You know, especially in your life. Maybe other people will change, but your life's not gonna change if you don't change. You might start seeing other people change, and maybe that'll pump you up, you know, but then you're a follower. You know, you're only gonna change because other people are changing. Like, literally, really, like come on, people need to step up. You know, people need to take accountability. You know, and I guess, you know, knowledge is power. You know, real knowledge, not this fucking fake knowledge of information. You know, because there's a difference between knowledge and information. You know, knowledge can be repeated. You know, it's like it's a knowing. So something that you know. You know, there's a reason why knowledge comes from the word knowing, or vice versa, right? It's from knowing, you know. And information is not knowledge, because unless it could be proven, you know. And that's how they're flooding this whole topic with information, explanations. Again, if your information or explanations are not backed by the practical, then it's just bullshit, you know. So all these flat earthers with their fucking explanations can go fuck themselves, because they're just muddying the waters at the end of the day. This is a very simple topic to understand. Water being level, and also water being level relative to motion, which again, we can recreate. Again, when water's at rest, we can see that it's, you know, perpendicular to the motion vector. How do we know that? Because when we add a horizontal acceleration, the water reorientates relative to the direction of motion. In this case, we can see that the water's level perpendicular to the new motion vector, which is in a diagonal. Why? Because when you add a horizontal movement to an upward movement, the object's gonna be moving in diagonal. Because now it's moving up and sideways at the same time, which means it's moving in a diagonal. And water shows you that. Again, water being level, it's relative to the motion vector. Water is not level by itself. Water does not level itself. That's retarded. Again, it's very simple elementary physics, and people that are not focusing on that are literally muddying the waters, whether deliberate or not. You're literally muddying the waters, you know. And yeah, you're making this whole subject look stupid, you know, which is the goal for the mainstream. That's where the controlled opposition come in, you know. They're literally just trying to make this subject as cringy as possible, as stupid as possible, so that people don't even look into it. Because once they start looking into it, you know, you can't unknow what you know, you know. It's like it's literally that simple, you know. It's part of growing mentally, you know. This is all the things that people skipped, you know. With the trivium, again, with grammar, logic, rhetoric, people don't have these basic tools to discern what's real and not. So they're skipping the most vital step. And that's why people are so easily swayed, because people are not grounded. People are not grounded in their own common sense because they have no structure of discerning information, that being the trivium, you know. So, you know, it's just pretty crazy, man. Pretty crazy. Like how we're living, even these universities existing, is an abomination, you know. So yeah, man, it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy times. Let me see if there's anything here. Water bodies are level and already displaced. Exactly. Level is displacement. The water is displacing level. And you can only have displacement of water when there's a force acting on it. And what is a force? It's motion. You know, so if there's no detectable motion or force that's pulling things down or accelerating things down, and everything shows that the motion is up, from helium balloons to air bubbles to our weight being pressed from below up, like everything, the pressure gradient, you know, everything is showing you that the force is up, you know. But again, people have a bias because, I don't know, people just idolize too much. I think that's the biggest issue that people have. Like, you have to realize we're all equals here. Nobody's above nobody else. We're all equals. I'm not smarter or better than anybody else. You know, if anything, people are dumbing themselves down. People are doubting themselves, which gives the impression that, oh, someone like me is above them. And it's like, no, we're all equals. You guys are doing this to yourself. You guys are putting yourselves down because of what you were told to believe. So again, I'm not above nobody. I'm not smarter than anybody else. What I present here is literally things that a 10-year-old can understand. So when I come out and do this, I'm not trying to flex on people. Like, it'll be retarded to try to do that because this is basic stuff. You know, I'm literally just trying to help people, you know. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, good. Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah, that's good. From 1 through 10, how open-minded would you say you are?
I think like 8.5.
I'd say 8, yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good. So if your entire life and existence of being a human was based on a lie, would you guys want to know the real truth of yourselves? So,
of course. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So that's why I'm here. Do you guys believe the Earth is a ball or a sphere in outer space?
Yes.
So this is an official NASA image from 2012, and they admit that they don't take real photographs of the Earth as a ball. They admit that they're all CGI, and that's for any other space agency for that matter. So if I was to ask you guys, why do you think a genuine photograph of the Earth as a ball doesn't exist?
I think it does. Don't astronauts like sometimes bring their cameras and take pictures from the outer space?
From ISS. So you believe that there are genuine photographs of the Earth from space?
Yeah,
as a ball like this?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, because NASA admits in their own website that all the images that they present to us like this are all CGI.
Oh, maybe not like that, but maybe from
the ISS. Okay, fair enough.
From an angle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Defies physics. So if I was to claim to you that I can walk on water, would you believe I could do that?
No.
No, right? Why?
I wouldn't.
Well, that defies physics, first of all, right? Would you agree?
Yeah.
You know, humans walking on water, right?
Yeah.
This image actually defies physics as well, and it has to do with water as well. So NASA claims they have satellites orbiting the Earth, right? So they need to know the radius of orbit if they're supposedly going around it.
Right.
So they do tell us the radius of the Earth is 3,959 miles, which means there has to be curvature every mile, and every mile it has to increase. So in the first mile is an 8-inch drop, second mile 32 inches, and by the third mile it should be 6 feet of curvature. So if we actually went out to a giant body of water like a lake to physically measure the surface, you know, water is going to show us that it's going to be parallel. Here we go. Water is going to show us that it's going to be parallel to anything horizontal above it, but they're trying to tell us that that surface of water is bending 6 feet in 3 miles and increasing more and more.
That's when you're on the surface?
That's when you're on the surface. So if we went out to a giant lake that was 10 miles across, they're trying to tell us that that surface of water is bending 66 feet. So there's basically a 66-foot hump in the middle of that lake. So it always finds its level.
Let me see.
Right.
Can't there be like different levels throughout? Like what? There could be a dip, but you know, there's mountains. There's other like curvatures.
Oh, definitely on Earth.
Okay.
Earth is not level because obviously there's mountains, valleys, canyons. But when we're talking about the surface of water, because again, we have lakes that are over 20 miles across, so we should be able to physically measure this curvature. But again, physics again shows us that that's impossible for water to bend when it's contained and at rest.
Well, yeah, I see how like it's weird for it to bend that much.
Exactly. There's a reason they don't show us this curve calculator when we're in school, because we're going to start to see how ridiculous that curvature is.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They could claim that the Earth is twice the size, right, to reduce the curve.
Yeah.
But guess what? Half of this curvature should still be there. So we should still measure about 6 feet, 3 feet in 3 miles, and still increasing more and more and more and more to make a whole circle again. So it doesn't matter what size they claim it is. Water doesn't even bend an inch. You know?
I see. So you think it's flat?
Well, I would say flat Earth is a psyop because flat has nothing to do with orientation, but the Earth does have orientation. Level being, you know, its level is perpendicular to the plumb, which plumb is the motion of the Earth. So the Earth is moving vertically, which makes water level. Water's perpendicular. This place is relative to that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see how this could work though because of gravity though, like with the water. So
if I was to,
gravity would just keep pulling the water. Or?
I'm glad you brought up gravity. So if I was to ask you guys, what is gravity?
Gravity is the Earth's mass attracting other objects into the
So you would
size
say,
of the mass.
so you would say that it's a force, or would you? So gravity is a force that brings stuff towards it, right? So if I was to ask you guys, what is a force?
A pulling or pushing.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah.
So that's what they tell us, that it's a pull or a push. The reality, only one of those exists. You guys want to know which one?
A push.
Exactly. So in order for something to have motion, like a combustion engine, for example, anything that has motion, something else needs to push something else to move it.
What if I just drop this?
Yeah. So what if I jump? What is?
I'm gonna tell you.
Oh,
the
man,
Earth is in motion. So when you release, so right now, when I'm holding this, we're all in motion right now. Since I'm holding this and I'm connected to the Earth, we're all moving. As soon as I release this, it loses momentum. So it starts to decelerate. So that's what happens. This doesn't go down. It's the Earth that comes up to meet it.
Oh, I see.
I thought if you drop this, it gets faster and faster.
So there's a change of rate. I'm glad you brought that up.
Terminal velocity.
Yeah. So terminal velocity is just object reaching constant deceleration. So that's what terminal velocity would be. It's a constant deceleration because the air's trying to push up against objects. But anything that's denser is not going to be able to push it up. But anything that's less dense, like helium, what direction does helium go?
Up.
Why does it go up?
Because the molecules are lighter than the air.
Well, what's happening for it to go up?
It's less dense.
The air's pushing it up. So air pushes up helium. So when you see air bubbles rising in water, it's the same principle. It's the water's pushing up the air bubbles.
How does air push it up?
Oh, air pushes up helium because the Earth is compressing the air as well.
The Earth is pushing the air.
Exactly. So the air, it's like a chain reaction, like
how is
motion
the Earth,
transfer.
How is the Earth moving?
That's a mystery. So nobody has been outside of the Earth. The Earth is a contained system.
I see.
So nobody's been outside to see how the mechanism of the Earth's motion works.
Do you think other planets are circular?
So the other planets, the lights in the sky, I would say that's irrelevant when it comes to establishing the shape of the Earth. But this is what the stars actually look like, and nobody knows what they actually are. So the highest human beings have ever gone, in my opinion, is between 25 to 30 miles in the sky.
Really?
So nobody's ever been higher than that. So what the stars actually are is just whatever we could see here.
I was reading a little bit about something like this the other day, about how they could fake Mars pictures.
Oh, easily.
With an island.
Yeah, definitely.
With like identical photos.
Yeah.
Of the island and of Mars.
Yeah, they have actually the Mars rover. You know how they supposedly send us pictures from?
Yep.
They put them like next to like Earth's layout, and they basically match up. So where they're supposedly training with the Mars rover, but they actually match up to the official Mars rover images, which just shows that they're just putting a red filter behind images here on Earth and claiming that they're in Mars.
What about the sun?
So the sun, again, when it comes to the luminaries, the sun, the moon, and the stars, nobody knows exactly what they are because nobody can go high enough to actually see what they are. So
what about the moon landing? Do you think that was all?
oh yeah, that was
Really?
Yeah, in my opinion, the moon landing was literally there to push the globe Earth. Because people didn't believe it before the moon landing as much. So after the moon landing, because people seen it on the radio, they believe it now, you know.
Yeah.
So that was like one of the main steps to push the globe Earth flat.
I see.
What about all the moon rock that's been brought back down?
Oh yeah, I don't know if you've looked into that. A lot of scientists from other countries tested some of these rocks, and most of them were just petrified wood.
Oh,
So yeah, petrified wood. Yeah. So yeah, they're not even real basically, and they're being debunked already basically.
Yeah.
we do have to
So,
get going.
no
now.
worries,
We're
so-
a little late. It was great to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet
I'm
you.
still a
Here.
little skeptical, but
No,
I'm
yeah.
like more open about
Here,
it.
here.
Check it out.
So, you guys could take this with you. So, just a quick tip: anybody claiming that the Earth is flat and motionless, that's the controlled opposition. They're the ones trying to make this subject look ridiculous. So there is a lot of people, again, pretending to be truthers or flat earthers, but they're talking a lot of shit, like saying the Earth is motionless, which again it's pardon my language, but it's retarded
Yeah.
to claim that the Earth is motionless because they don't have an explanation.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the
No,
Earth
I
has
agree
motion,
with that.
100%. Again, helium shows us that. Air bubbles in water shows us that. Just real quick,
Yeah.
you know how air bubbles rise in water?
Yeah.
When you release it into free fall, the air bubbles don't rise anymore because the force is being transferred through me because I'm holding it.
Wait, do that again. But
Yeah,
did
no,
you shake it a little bit?
No. I'm not showing the air bubbles right now.
Oh,
But I
okay.
could show you real quick.
Okay.
I have just real quick, but here, let me see.
Also, so what shape do you think the Earth is?
It's a level plane, 100%. It's a level plane that's being contained by a solid barrier somehow. So we do have a ceiling, in my
What
opinion.
about like planes that fly completely around?
Oh yeah, so airplanes, they only fly east to west, which is possible on a level Earth, with the north being a center point. So
Well,
if we have a
they
center
fly
point,
north though, don't they?
yeah, they fly north, but then they don't come back south all the way around. That flight's never been done.
Or
So,
isn't that because of the direction of the air?
yeah,
Yes, isn't that's why they don't do it? Not because they can't, because of the barrier? Like,
Well,
it wouldn't make sense for them to go.
no,
around like
the
that.
explanation is that it's too cold, so that's why they've never done it.
Oh.
That's the explanation. But the reality is, it's a physical impossibility. So real quick, so here, so I filmed this myself, but yeah, we can clearly see the air bubbles rise, when I'm flipping it upside down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as soon as I release it, I basically remove the force of the upwards force, and we can see the air bubble stop. Look, it's moving up, and as soon as I release it, the air bubble doesn't rise anymore, and it's going down, apparently. And that's because
Oh, that was so sick actually.
yeah, so that basically shows us that there's no force. I don't know if you guys knew gravity is just a theory, because there's no such thing as a force pulling anything down. Because again, when we release a water bottle like this, the air shows us that there's no force acting on it, because the air always moving in the direction of acceleration. That's what buoyancy is.
Real quick,
Yes.
so how would you explain the east-west flights all the
Oh
way
yeah, let
around?
me just show you a quick map. I don't like using this map because this is a psyop again. Nobody knows the full dimensions of the Earth.
Or
But
do you think it just goes in a circle?
east and west are circles because the north will just be a center point. So if you go east and west, you always have to autocorrect.
Has someone
Autocorrect.
flown over the North Pole?
No. Oh yeah, a lot, not directly over. That's restricted too. So the north is super restricted. So there's no fly zone and no fly zones over the south.
And no one's flown near the
Yeah,
south either.
exactly.
So you think there's like a barrier that goes around?
In my
here?
opinion, yes, we're being
Okay.
contained somehow.
Interesting.
Because again,
So,
yeah,
and you think like you would say this is flat
I would say
with like some sort of invisible barrier or something?
it could be physical, but it could be invisible too. Again, I don't know. I don't make claims that I don't
Right.
know. But
So
what
like here, let's say like we're here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Where's the path of the sun?
So the path of the sun is illustrated by these circles. Again, I could be wrong with this.
Oh, I see it here.
Yeah, so the summer will be closer to the center. That's why Alaska gets 24-hour sun.
Oh, okay. So
Right?
it's just closer.
It's just
it's
loose-
not.
it's
It's
just-
not exactly. Right?
Exactly,
So,
so-
it'll go like kind of here, and then it'll go to red. And
So
then
when
it'll
it's our
go
winter, it's just doing a bigger circle. But when it's our summer, it moves in closer to the center and then it moves out. to
Where
make
would you
winter.
say the sun was? Like if you had to guess, your best guess.
Well, right
on
now,
where
if
the
it's
sun
right
is.
above us,
Yeah,
Well-
like on this map.
right now, we're,
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost right above us, and we're in
Yeah.
North America.
Yeah, but like if it was nighttime on this map and it was over here, and we're flat, wouldn't we be able to see the sun always?
Okay, that's a good question. So we do have a limit to how
Sorry.
far we
That's
can.
what I was
No,
gonna
no.
ask. Yep.
So we do have a limit to how far we can see. So let's say, let me show you this real
Yeah,
quick.
it's like
real
what,
quick,
7?
real quick. No, it's a good question though.
I had one more question.
So,
after that.
Yeah.
for example, when we're looking at these row of lights, right?
Uh-huh.
We know that this floor is level,
Yeah.
but why does it appear like they go down? And it has to do with perspective. For example,
Oh
here,
yeah, just distance.
exactly distance. Everything shrinks at a distance,
Yep.
right? So the sun is not 93 million miles away like they're telling us, and it's not 500,000 miles in diameter either. The sun's a very small local sun. It's very small in comparison to the Earth.
How close would you say it is? If you had to guess.
Flat Earthers claim is 30 miles to 3,000 miles, so between 30 and 3. I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
All I know is that when it moves away from us, it's just simply going out of perspective.
What about
So
global
this would be
warming?
this would be like a graph to kind of show that.
Uh,
So, for example, this curve represents our eye because we have spherical vision, right? And the center of our eye will be considered the horizon. So anything that's above that moves away at the same altitude, it will just appear to go lower in our field of view.
I see.
So
This is how far we can see?
Exactly. So basically, the further you extend this line out, the lower it's gonna get to the horizon, and then basically that'll be our vanishing point. So the horizon is the limit of perspective, and the sun
well,
just goes
this
beyond
depends
that.
on how clear it is. Too.
Exactly.
Is
Atmosphere has a lot to
Is
do
this
with
maximum clearness as well for all these?
that. I mean, this is just a graph to show perspective from a spherical eye, just to show that things appear to drop in our field of view, even though they're not physically dropping.
What would you say about like other suns in the?
People claim there could be other suns, I guess. Are you talking about outer space?
Yeah,
So
like-
outer
Like,
space.
one
what's
of the
out-
giant.
Yeah.
Like,
So this is
something
what
like
I don't know. I showed you guys the stars, right? So nobody knows what's outside of the Earth again. So all this outer space is just a fairy tale, you know.
that. They're just kind of like adding details.
They're just
to
basically adding to the lie.
strengthen the story.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's everything what's outside. Nobody knows what. It's just all made up. So
Also,
this is what the lights look like.
last thing.
Yeah, last thing.
I know that.
Yeah.
But like global warming, do you think the sun's like coming down? Or?
Oh, global warming to me, again, I don't really like to get into topics that have nothing to do with physics because global warming to me, I would say is just a tax scam, kind of like global
see.
warming.
Do you believe in evolution?
Oh no, this is
No.
creation, 100%. First
So
law
do
of
you-
thermodynamics
Are you,
proves
are
that.
you like? Do you believe in a god?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't believe in a god. I understand that this place came from something else, so there has to be some kind of
You believe
Cause.
that like
There's has
God could exist?
there is a cost to this.
Yeah.
What that is, God, I don't know what it is exactly, but I know there was a cost to this. This is intelligently designed for sure. You know,
I see.
100%.
Thank you for all this.
No, yeah, man.
That
No
was
problem.
great.
Super
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, man. You
What's
guys-
your name, man?
My name's William.
William, I'm
Yeah,
Tom.
Yeah.
Definitely am.
So I'm in the flyer. You guys can check out my channel. You know, everything's.
I got
Yeah,
that,
appreciate it.
I got that flyer. Guys.
Yeah.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thanks for the
yeah.
Has
time.
anyone like gone mad at you?
A couple.
A lot of people like went,
That's
"Oh, you
crazy.
stupid!" Like,
Some people,
Really?
believe it or
Oh.
not. But they really don't have nothing else to say other than just talk
I
shit,
like this
basically.
sign
Yeah.
for this topic. It's
Oh,
like
yeah,
you
definitely.
have to be open minded.
I have to be Socratic about it because if I had a sign that says, "Oh, the Earth is flat,"
Yeah.
People, lots of people would come out.
they wouldn't even. Not only that, they would just come up ridiculing. I've guide people into.
Yeah,
That's
smart.
super cool. Yeah, I like that a
Oh,
lot.
yeah.
All right, have a good
All
one.
right, man.
Take care, man.
Yeah, you take care. Yeah, it was really good. They were open minded. You know, they weren't really that defensive. They did have questions, which is normal. You know, I had questions too when I first came up. You know, came into this subject, and believe it or not, I had questions about the sun too, and how does day and night work, and how do the seasons work, you know, and stuff like that. You know, so I get it. You know, and it takes a while to understand that. You know, those things, those answers to those questions can come after. You know, because physics is what proves that the Earth is level, water in specific. you know. So yeah, I get it, you know, having these questions, and that's why, you know, I try to give the best answer possible without getting caught up in that subject as well, because again, a lot of these questions kind of just lead you to another pointless subject, and then it just goes off topic basically, you know. So I try to always bring it back, answer the questions, but always bring it back, you know, because, you know, you're gonna have these questions eventually, you know. So, you know, I get it. Damn, it's really windy. I'm hoping that the audio's not that bad. I should have put the mic on, but fuck it. Next time. I didn't think it was gonna be windy, but yeah, it's really windy. Hopefully the audio's not fucked up. God damn, kind of cold. All right, let me put some of this away real quick. Yeah, I didn't even get to the horizon one or nothing. It's just kind of random, basically, based on the questions that they ask. You know, kind of have these backwards. Fuck. How much time are we on? Now we're 10. Not bad, not bad. They completely understood when I showed them the air bubble rising. It basically it clicked, you know. It's like you should have seen their face. Well, you're gonna see it hopefully. Man, to share this information and to see people actually understand it, it's like no better feeling than that, you know. Like, you know, when it comes to this subject, of course, you know, it's like, oh yeah, it's cool. Great chat today, William. Good to see you back, setting examples and representing the facts. You know, yeah, thanks, Beyond. Audio is fine. Okay, cool. I know it's not like windy all the time. It's just like little bursts of wind, and then it goes away. But yep. Hi.
I'm just curious. Are you like talking about like controversial topics?
We could say that to see how open-minded people are. Would you consider yourself an open-minded person?
I would say so. Is this for like YouTube?
Oh yeah, I do have a YouTube channel.
What are you arguing about?
Well, it's not really arguing, and more like, you know, showing some facts that may contradict our current beliefs. Would you be open to challenging your current beliefs if there could be facts to contradict them?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Why wouldn't you, right? So from 1 to 10, how open-minded would you say you are to having your beliefs challenged?
So 1 is like
You're not open to having your beliefs challenged, and 10 will be you don't want to believe you don't want to believe something that's wrong, and you know, if there's facts that can disprove that, you're open. That will be a 10.
yeah, like 10 I would say.
Okay, you would want to know if you're wrong about something, right?
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
But also like I believe that they're like right and wrong in certain cases are like relative.
Oh yeah, when it comes to right and wrong, that is definitely relative. But what about if we're talking about something objective? For example, if I made a claim to you that I can walk on water, would you believe I can walk on water?
No.
Why not?
It's just not possible.
It's physically impossible, right? All right, so here's the main question of why I'm here. Do you believe the Earth is a ball?
Yes.
What if I was to tell you that this defies physics and it's a physical impossibility to be claiming that the Earth is a ball? What would you say to that?
Oh, are you trying to argue that the Earth is flat?
Well, not flat per se, because flat Earth is a psyop, but definitely the Earth is not a globe 100%, and it actually defies physics. So let me just.
It is.
So first, NASA, you know, they claim to have satellites orbiting the Earth, right? Which is where this whole thing came about. And they claim to know the radius of orbit because they're supposedly going around it, right? So they need to know the radius of the Earth. So they do tell us it's right under 4,000, which is 3,159, which means there has to be curvature every mile, and every mile has to increase, right? So if we actually went out to a giant body of water to physically measure for this curvature, the surface of water, again, is going to show us that there is no curve. So again, if we actually physically went to measure like a giant lake, the lake is going to show us that it's going to be parallel to anything horizontal above it. But they're trying to tell us that the surface of every lake on Earth is bending 6 feet in 3 miles and 66 feet in 10 miles. But we understand that the physics of water, you know, doesn't do that, because once water is contained and at rest, the surface always forms an equal surface, basically, a level surface. You know, that being horizontal. So a physical measurement of the Earth, water in specific, will debunk the globe Earth. Because again, water has properties. Again, we can't walk on water, you know, because water has properties. Same thing when it comes to when it's level, you know, it doesn't bend. The surface always forms an equal surface. So they're trying to tell us that, you know, that it does by showing us a cartoon. And NASA actually admits that these to that. So that's not even up for debate.
So you think that?
So the Earth is a level plane, and
So you
water
think
shows.
it's like a pancake, right? And
Not
there's
a-
like an ice wall around it.
Not necessarily. I honestly don't know the full dimensions of the Earth. All I know is that it is a level plane, and it is the water has to be contained somehow.
So are all the other planets in the solar system a level plane, or do you think they're all globes? And
No. So this is what the stars actually look like. Nobody actually knows what they are, but they're trying to make people believe that there are other terra firma planets. But again, planets don't even exist. It's just the Earth. So these are lights in the sky. This is what the stars actually look like, and these are the planets, which are no different than the stars. They're just lights in the sky. Nobody knows what they are. So anybody telling you what's outside of the Earth, outer space, all that's just a fairy tale. It's all made up.
But they like prove that like stars are balls of gas and that they emit light because it's like chemical reaction.
Claiming that the stars are balls of gas next in outer space, that defies physics, because in order to maintain air pressure, you need a solid container. So for example,
I
like
mean, you don't though, right? Because like it's empty space, and because of matter, like it condenses together. Like the gas condenses together, and it's reacting with each other. So it's a constant chemical reaction, like from that space.
so you would believe that you could have air on a tire without the rubber?
Well, okay, but it's like it's in space, right?
Right.
So
But-
the chemical reactions are being condensed together by gravity because all the other like molecules and stuff, they have their own pull and they're pulling like, so in open space, right, there's like gas, you know, there's like gas, debris, like space dust, right? So then like, wouldn't that like, and then because they're reacting with each other and forming chemical reactions, they have gravitational pull. And so because of that, they're pulling all the other elements around it together, and that's what makes a star. I mean, that's like, do you believe in the Big Bang?
No.
So like,
So something can come from nothing. That's a physical impossibility.
yeah. So I think that's probably where you would disagree. I would disagree with you, just because like,
So your belief in outer space is the.
yeah, I mean, like I believe that like stars are real, planets are real.
So you would accept that outer space is like a vacuum, like a.
I mean, there
wouldn't
is
say-
vacuums in space, but
I wouldn't say 100% vacuum, but Earth, would you obviously accept that Earth has pressure, right? 14.7 psi is
Yeah.
alleged.
Well, I mean, there's like a bunch of chemical reactions in order to even form the Earth, but it's just like, why would it be like a plane?
Well, but that's the way it was created. That's the only way we're able to stand here. Like if you were on a globe, again, I don't know if you knew, gravity is just a theory. So this idea of a force pulling objects towards the center of mass is just, again, it's a theory, which is just someone's idea. It's not reality. The reality is the Earth is actually pushing up against you. So you're not being pulled towards the Earth. It's the Earth pushing up against you. That's
Well, I mean, like, there's a bunch of theories on like, big theories. Theories are just like a group of ideas.
yeah, ideas.
But like some of them are like proven to be like.
Is physics a theory or is physics reality?
Well, okay, like physics is like trying to figure out reality.
Well, like, for
and they say,
example,
like,
this cell
theory-
phone or in this camera, is this reality or is this just a theory? It's reality, right? We could use it. We made it. We can.
But theory is just like a group of ideas, but whether it's accepted as reality is like different, right?
I would say a theory and reality are two completely opposite things because a
Yeah.
car is reality. I don't
Yeah,
see-
but like theories can like be proven to be like real.
Oh, if a theory could be proven to be real, then it wouldn't be a theory anymore. It would be self-evident. A theory is only a theory because it hasn't been proven.
Not always. Sometimes they just call things theories, but like,
But that's because they're not real.
but they're just like groups of ideas. That's why.
For example, like the theory of like, I understand that matter is made up of something, so I accept that, you know, matter is made up of something, but there's a theory that it's made up of little molecules, little balls bouncing around. That's a
Yeah.
theory based on something real, which I accept that it is made up of something, but I don't accept that it's made out of little tiny little balls, you know. That's the theory. So,
Oh, like wait, so
'Cause
you
they
just
haven't
don't
pro-
believe in like molecules?
well, again, I understand that matter has, it's made up of something, but what they're trying to tell me that's the theory. You know what I'm saying?
So what do you believe
so there could
that's
be,
made out of?
I don't know. And I don't think nobody could know what water's made of or air. How do you see what air's made
So
out
like
of?
you don't believe in like oxygen?
So for example, do you believe air has molecules?
Yes.
Like the oxygen?
Yeah.
How did they confirm that? How did they zoom into the air? Because the air is invisible. So I would like to know how did they zoom into
They
the
can
air?
like isolate particles. Like they have like particle generators that are able to like split it, and then they like take pictures of it.
I
And it's
understand.
moving so fast that like the most that you see is something like that.
Okay, I see.
But the particles are always moving and they're always like reacting with everything around it.
Okay, fair enough. So I will go back to again physics and the surface of water. Have you ever been to a lake? A lake, right? The surface of water is always going to be parallel or horizontal to anything else that's horizontal.
Yeah.
But they're trying to tell us that every lake on Earth is bending 6 feet in 3 miles. But that defies physics. Because the surface of water, again, once it's contained and at rest, the surface always finds an equal surface, regardless of the size. I can make this water bottle 100 times the size. The water is always going to form a horizontal plane. That's it. So
Yeah, but then if you're standing on a curve too, then it would just be straight.
I don't. What do you mean? Can you give me an
Because
example?
it's all like relative.
You're-
Because like we're like, if it's curved, right, and then it's gonna look straight because you're on the curve too. It's not like you're like perpendicular to it.
I mean, you're perpendicular to it when you're always standing on top of it, but technically it's always sloping away from you in every direction, right? Right? So, again, we should be able to physically measure that curvature if it was truly there, especially over a body of water.
I thought people already did that.
Have you heard of the term sea level?
Yes.
Sea level, right? The oceans are level, basically. That being horizontal. So they're trying to tell us that when you're standing on the beach, that water's curving away from you and bending around a ball. And that's a physical impossibility. The continents are all on the same level, just across the way. So the continents are containing the water because they're at higher elevation. So the continents don't bend, under a ball or a curve. The continents are just across the way in every direction. Because the surface of water doesn't bend. And the oceans
Why
don't.
doesn't?
Because that's the physical properties of water. Just for the same reason you can't walk on
there's
water.
like the gravitational pull of the planet, which is pulling the water to it.
Right.
And then you have the atmosphere as well, which has gravity, which is pressing the water in order to like surround the ball around it.
Okay.
Right.
It seems to me like you have like this idea of gravity. If I was to ask you what is gravity, just to get an idea of what
I'm not like a physics student, so I can't give you like
would you
good I could give you like at best like the elementary definition of like what gravity is.
sure if you could give me
But
that.
I feel like from like coming from me like a college student, like it's not gonna be the same versus like someone who actually studies like physics,
Well, the mainstream they contradict themselves. They claim it's a force, gravity, right? But they also claim it's not a force nowadays. So the new Einsteinian theory of gravity claims it's not a force, but they do
When
claim
did
it's
you do that?
Oh, well, Einstein, a while back ago, actually. So he debunked Newton's theory of gravity, which is, he claims it's a force. Einstein claims it's not a force. So the reason why Einstein came with his explanation, because gravity is actually not a force. Because nothing accelerates down. The fact is, it's the Earth that's pushing up against you right now.
It's both. It's equal or opposite.
Well, that's what, they try to use both simultaneously, Newton's explanation of gravity with Einstein's. The fact is they're both wrong. Nothing accelerates down in free fall.
So like you just like don't believe in gravity or like elements.
Well, I understand reality that shows me that the Earth has motion. The Earth is in constant motion up.
But motion is caused by like gravitational pull.
No, that's what I'm saying. So you believe when I release this that this gets pulled down, right? You believe that. The reality is when you release this doesn't go towards the Earth. It's the Earth that comes up to meet it. So that's the reality. That's why gravity is a theory, because there's no such thing as a force pulling anything down.
But then like gravity has been like proven to exist through like several like experiments and like thought processes. So then like at that
How did they
point,
prove gravity, if I may ask? What experiment?
like okay, like they like okay, so
Does
Newton
even-
is like okay, apple fall from the tree, right?
Right.
Like how does that happen? But then like physicists and stuff, like they've proven that like outer bodies, like how are they pulling like all this matter together in order to form like stars, planets, things like that? And it has to be because of gravity. Like gas doesn't just come together for like no reason, right? Otherwise, it's just
It has to be contained. That's one thing. In order for to
But it doesn't need like anything solid for it to be contained. Like it's just like a force that's like pressing it together and it's condensing it in order to form a star.
right. So again, so you believe gravity is like a magnetic force that pulls all matter, especially gas, towards the center?
Like, well, like you know, like energy can't be like created or destroyed, right? So it's just like transferred.
Okay.
So like everything is just transferring from each other and interacting with each other at all times.
Okay.
But I don't think we would agree if you don't like
So-
believe in if you don't believe in elements or
No,
like,
I understand matter it's made up of something. It just don't accept what I'm being told that is, especially if they admit it's a theory.
Can I ask like
Sure.
when you started like getting into this?
Oh, I came across this subject in 2016, so 8 years ago, and I didn't start coming out and talking to people until about 2 years ago. And the reason why I started doing that is because I see a lot of propaganda, a lot of misrepresenting online, and they're basically a lot of flat earthers, and I say flat earthers like this because they're just shitting on this subject. They're making it look ridiculous, and they're just trying to make it as cringy as possible so that people don't look into it. Because it's basic elementary physics that debunks the globe. Water is the number one proof. The surface of water doesn't bend. So it's like making people believe that you could walk on water. That defies physics. Now you have astronauts claiming that they can see water bend, but that defies physics. It's the same thing. So I would say astronauts are just, first of all, they're liars, and yeah, they're just, I will call NASA just a circus in a way. They're just magicians, just trying to trick people and entertain people, basically.
So you like don't trust the government?
Oh,
Is that why?
no. Especially if they claim things that contradict my reality. I don't just trust them for no reason. I trust them because they're claiming things that contradict my experience.
So did your distrust of the government like come from this, or has it just been like a general distrust and then like you looked into this?
So I'm glad you asked that because I was kind of like just a follower in a way, so I didn't really question the government before this. So this was a subject that opened my mind to like, holy shit, they're lying about, if they could lie to us about this, you know, they're lying to us about everything else. So yeah, even paying taxes is a lie. I don't know if you knew that. That's why they have to make you sign a contract when you get a job, and when you lease an apartment, or they have to make you sign because it's all consensual. So it's all trickery basically. Even how we live, using money, paying taxes.
So what do you think the moon is like? Do you think that's real, or do you think it's like?
Oh, it's definitely
hologram or
real,
space
but I
or
don't know what it is. It's outer space, in my opinion, how they're depicting it to us, it's all made up. So what's outside of the Earth in reality, I don't know.
I mean, like, I do agree, like, a lot of the places that they talk about are, like, theoretical.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
like, they have to, like, prove it using, like, the physical properties of, like, the celestial bodies in order to, like, debunk that it's not, like, just random shit that's, like, happening.
Right. But when it comes to making claims about outer space and they found an Earth-like planet 2.9 trillion years away, or like, you know, when they make claims like that, like, how do you verify that stuff, right? You just have to believe them.
Because, okay, like, I took an astrology class.
Sure.
It was pretty basic.
Sure.
But basically they said, like, they can, based on, like, the light that comes off the atmosphere of, like, the planets and the stars, they can determine, like, the chemical makeup of it based
Sure.
on the light that it emits.
Right.
So then, based on that, they're able to see, like, the chemical properties of the atmosphere and whether it would be, like, possibly, like, compatible for life.
Right. So that explains. That'd be fair to say then?
That it's evolved.
Yeah. Does that
I
explanation?
mean, like,
oh.
no, like, that's the explanation of, like, why,
So-
like, why they're able to say, like, oh, like, this planet, like, could be potentially compatible, like, for life because the atmosphere reflects something similar to Earth with, like, carbon-based life forms.
So if I was to ask you, okay, what convinces you then that the Earth is a ball, if I may ask? If not that, well, what does convince you that the Earth is a ball?
Because there has to be, like, okay, so Earth has, like, an iron core, right?
Well, that's what we're told. I don't know if you know what's the deepest humans have ever dug to the Earth? Into
No.
the 8 miles, which is it's not even the crust.
Yeah.
So they tell us that the center of the Earth is 3,915. That's the radius. The radius. So that's the distance from the center to the surface is 3,959. That's what they're telling us. But we've only dug 8 miles. That's like not even 1% of a percent.
Yeah.
So how do they know what's at the center?
Because of lava. Like, lava.
So they're assuming.
Like, lava could, like, Like, what do you think lava is then?
If I'm being honest, well, obvious. So what's causing it? I don't know.
Like, do you not believe it's like material that was like contained, like?
There's definitely something coming from the earth, definitely. But to claim that it's
Like,
from
do
an
you
iron
believe
core,
like that it's matter, like that's being contained because of gravity, and then like the surface
oh no.
around it that was formed
It's
over, like, billions of years?
there's definitely a different explanation to
Like, you just believe like lava just comes out because like.
well, I accept the lava comes out. I don't make claims to know what it is. I believe that has nothing to do with the dimensions of the earth or the geometry of the earth. You know, I would say that's a red herring if you want to establish the geometry of the earth, which is level. Have you heard of Euclidean plane geometry?
No.
It's the geometry that's used in construction everywhere. So when you construct railroads, exactly. So it's using plumbs and levels, and all plumb lines. I don't know. You know what a plumb line is? It's the vertical, the true vertical. When you put a weight with a string, it shows you the true vertical. That's a plumb line. So all plumb lines are considered parallel. I don't know if you knew that in construction, regardless of the distance. That would be impossible on a globe because all plumb lines on a globe are relative, like you were saying, because they should all point to a center. So that would mean that plumb lines are not parallel, but in reality they are. And again, all engineers know this. You know, and the only reason why they believe that they're on a ball, again, it's just because they were told. Most engineers believe it's a ball, even though they use plane geometry when they construct. So it's a bit of a contradiction, if you ask me. So all the blueprints, have you ever seen blueprints of like structures? You know, right? All the blueprints are done on planes, on horizontals and plumbs. So there's no curved lines on blueprints. It's all straight levels.
But like the curve is like much bigger, no? So then it would like, it looks like a plane, right? Like, so like right now, right? Like, it would look like a plane because like the earth is so like fucking massive that like to us, like us small little people on this planet, like we're all just like tiny, right?
We're just
to us it's a plane.
Okay. Again, even airplanes. So even if it was like that, when you fly an airplane, technically the airplane should account for that curve. If you're going down to, the reality is airplanes fly level, and not only do they not point the nose down, they actually, when an airplane flies level, it actually points the nose slightly up. So how can an airplane with the nose pointing slightly up, how can it fly over a curve down if it has its nose pointing up? You know, it doesn't make any sense. Again, everything, even flight trajectories, how airplanes fly, the blueprints, they all tell us that the Earth is level, not curved.
So like, what reason do you think the government has
to lie to us?
Yeah, like I don't know. I feel like the government can lie to us about a lot of things, but I feel like the shape of the earth is so stupid. Like, don't they have like bigger things to worry about?
Well, if you ask me, the shape of the earth might seem stupid at first, but once you look into it, if they could get you to believe in something stupid like that, then they're gonna get you to believe in other stuff too. Like, again, paying taxes and making you believe that money actually has value. You know, money doesn't have value. It's all belief. So it's what they tell us it is, and then we just believe it and accept it. I don't know if you knew, money's not backed by gold anymore. So it's not even being regulated anymore. So they could just print whatever they want, and they just tell us, and then we just follow.
Well, like inflation, like
exactly.
Inflation is like when they overprint money.
Exactly. So inflation wouldn't be a thing if it was backed by something real, the economy, but it's not. So again, we're literally right now, we're just obeying what we're told and believing what we're told. People are not properly grounded to think for themselves. And again, the globe earth light is like a cheap shot on our common sense when we're very young, to trust authority over our own common sense. And it's the first step into creating a slave society. So it might seem insignificant, but once you understand it, then you start to see how easy it is to debunk and how stupid was I to fall into it, right? And it's all about control, I think.
So do you believe that, like, do you believe that aliens exist? Like, do you think that's real?
Oh, so aliens from outer space definitely don't exist, in my opinion, but extraterrestrials could live here on Earth in extra lands that we don't know of. So extraterra means extra lands. So extraterrestrials would just be, people that are here in other lands or other humanoid, species or whatever.
Wait, so do you believe in like
it's possible.
Middle Earth, like that?
Middle Earth?
Do you know what that is?
Hollow Earth?
Like Hollow Earth? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't buy into, because I have no evidence of that. So I've heard people talk about that supposedly at the center of the Earth there's a hole and stuff like that. And there's, again, I would say those are conspiracy theories because they cannot be verified. The Earth being a level plane can be proven every day. You know, they're just going to a simple lake and measuring the surface of water. You know, again, water is the #1 proof to debunk the globe. You know, because water is, and again, the surface doesn't bend. You know, it's the #1 tool for measuring horizontal. You know. So,
Have you seen that one documentary where they like buy this like 20K like equipment from like this like college or something to try to like measure? Like it was like basically like a really fancy laser.
yeah, so I'm gonna tell you about why lasers are being pushed in the mainstream. There's even a Netflix documentary on this too. They use lasers. So what happens when you shine a laser through water? Does the laser go straight? When you shine a laser through water, does the laser go straight when it's being flashed through water?
But also like the water can like deflect.
Like refraction. You know the air is like moisture, right? So when you shine a laser through the air, you're always going to have refraction. So you're always going to have an inconclusive answer. So they're pushing these laser experiments just to give validity that, well, we can't prove either or, so it still must be a globe, right? The fact is, if we physically measured for the curvature like this, there's no such thing as refraction or an excuse that they could give, right? So again, pushing laser experiments is just, it's inconclusive and it's not going to prove anything because of refraction. We can't suck the air out of the Earth. It's impossible.
Well, refraction from water is different from air.
Yeah, it's going to be more predominant in water, but it's still going to be there. Especially the longer distance you shine that laser, the more there's going to be, the more atmosphere in between point A to point B. You know. So again, they're strategically pushing laser experiments for that reason, because there's not going to be a conclusive answer. And again, a conclusive answer will be a physical measurement, you know, like this, straight up, you know, right on it. But we understand. I mean, we don't even have to do this. But again, the surface of water, I've never seen a lake with a hump in the middle. You know, it's impossible. Water's not like Jello, where it can hold itself up like that. Water always collapses, and you know, it flows.
Well, like takes the like shape of its like container.
Well, the bottom. But the surface always finds its equal. Again, if I could have a triangle shape, the water's going to take the shape of the container at the bottom, but the surface... Yeah, exactly. Level, I would say level. Because you could have a flat wall, that doesn't mean it's level. You could have a flat slope, that doesn't mean it's... You know, again, people are pushing flat Earth are misrepresenting this topic. A lot of people. I stay away from that word flat Earth because it has a lot of propaganda behind it.
Yeah.
And again, it's not flat because we have mountains, we have valleys, we have canyons. Again, at the end of the day, the proper term is level because it has to do with orientation, which means the Earth is actually moving. Because in order for something to have orientation, it needs to have direction. In order for something to have direction, it needs to have motion. So the Earth has motion.
Well, the whole solar system is pretty.
Well,
So it's the galaxy that we live in.
Well, they're trying to make us believe that the Earth is moving in 4 different directions, 4 different speeds. So it's spinning at 1,000 miles an hour while it's shooting around the sun at 66,000 miles an hour. And then the whole solar system is going around the Milky Way at 500,000 miles an hour. And then the whole Milky Way is shooting through space at 1.2 billion miles an hour. So they're telling us that Earth is moving in 4 different crazy speeds, but we don't feel none of those. We only feel the pressure of the Earth pressing up against us. You only feel one motion, which is the Earth pushing up against you.
Isn't it? Because like it's just moving like super slow, like we don't even perceive it.
Well, 1.2.
Yeah, but it's like relative to like where you are. Like I bet if you see it from like a bird's eye view, like you're like, yeah, holy shit, like that's moving so fast. But if you're on it, it's like.
I would say that. Yeah. Did you know that weight is relative to pressure? So so in order for something to have weight, something needs to be pressing up against it, and then based on how much mass that has, that's gonna basically give a resistance, and that resistance will be the weight. So again, gravity as a pulling force that pulls you down. Again, that force doesn't exist like a visible force in the air that just pulls things down. The fact is, it's the Earth pushing up against us right now. So that's the reality. So here I have my channel. You could check it out. I have conversations with students all the time. And if you have any questions, my email is in the description. And, the 6 main proofs are in here that debunk the code. And you could give them a read.
Do you talk about other stuff besides?
I mean, I'm a vegan myself, but I don't really do vegan activism or talk about that. But this is the main thing I talk about, actually.
Do you believe the FDA is like killing
The FDA? Oh, definitely, yeah. The Food and Drug Administration, like people need to question why is the Food and Drug Administration being, why are they being basically controlled by the same entity, you could say.
Oh, like by the government?
Basically, yeah. The FDA is the Food and Drug Administration. So why are food and drugs in the same topic? That's because they're putting drugs on the food.
Or is it just because like they're both being consumed?
Well, just at the end of the day, just look at the back of like when you buy something in the store, the ingredients. There's gonna be a lot of chemicals that shouldn't even be there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if we're eating things that we don't understand what it is, then you're eating something that you shouldn't be eating. So yeah.
So like, you probably believe in like big pharma and stuff, right?
Yeah, all of that obviously is there to like keep us sick, because at the end of the day, the medical industry is a business. It's like a billion, maybe $1 trillion industry, who knows? But at the end of the day, the whole medical thing is just a business.
Right.
So keeping people sick is a way to keep that going.
So like, you don't believe that like people should like get vaccinated?
No. Like I always ask this, like, would anyone inject like apple juice into their veins? No, right? Like 100% apple juice or 100% orange juice. Would you inject orange juice into your veins?
No, but like why would you?
But why would you, exactly, but why would you inject this other chemical that they don't even know the ingredients of into your veins?
Well, it's like the dead bacteria or whatever that they're like putting into you so then you can build antibodies and like get sick.
If you ask your doctor when you're gonna get a vaccine, if you ask them what are the ingredients in this, I guarantee you 90% of the time they're not gonna know. So I would say that's a little scary. You know what I'm saying? If the doctor that's implementing this vaccine doesn't even know what he's doing, but yet you're willing to take it, I would say that's pretty crazy. In my opinion. I think the best way to have a good immune system is eat healthy. Eat a lot of fruits, organic fruits, vegetables, blueberries, strawberries, they're very good for the immune system. I think that's way better than taking a vaccine into your veins.
So like, do you think COVID was like a big scam? Do you think like the government just like planted it just so like
in my
for
opinion,
shits and giggles? Like,
in my opinion, COVID was kind of like just to see how obedient people are. So, did you wear a mask during the pandemic, if I may ask?
I mean, we all had to.
I didn't. I went to stores and everywhere without a mask. I was the only one, by the way, without a mask. So when people would come up to me, employees, I would just say I had a medical exemption. And they can't ask for proof of that because you understand HIPAA law, right? So it's a right to privacy of your medical records. So all you had to say was that you can't breathe with it and you have a condition, and technically they can't ask any further. And they can't kick you out either because that would be discrimination. So there was loopholes around it that people are not well versed or they don't really understand the law as much, right? It's very basic though, but they overcomplicate it. But again, you were able to not wear one if you didn't want to. But again, a lot of people did get bullied into it. I do know that. I got kicked out of a couple of stores, I'm not gonna lie. But again, there's just bullying tactics. And yeah, most people obeyed, if you ask me. They wanted to see if people are obedient, and yeah, I think that's the whole point of that was.
Like, just like, so do you believe in like, now I'm just curious. Do you believe in like, I don't know, like secret societies or like hegemony? Like,
That's the only way, yeah.
do you believe in the Illuminati?
So the Illuminati to me is kind of like for kids in a way. So there's definitely groups that are collaborating to push certain agendas. That's a fact. Conspiracies do exist. That's the only way. I mean, you'd be pretty naive to believe that people in government don't come together to commit fraud. That would be pretty naive for someone to believe that. So there's definitely conspiracies in the government. But to push like Illuminati stuff like that, like demonic stuff that they supposedly do, I think they're just exaggerating that so that people think it's silly. But there's definitely, groups that are there to control.
So you believe in like the Rothschilds?
The Skull and Bones Society, all that, they probably do exist, yeah. They do have a lot of, if you ever go to like, by Hollywood, there's a lot of lounges, or I don't know what they call them, but where
The
these,
like Masonic.
there we go, Masonic lounge, yeah, they exist, they're there, you know,
So you believe like groups like the Freemasons are like?
oh yeah, Freemasons are, they're helping us though. Because I work.
You don't think that's a fact?
It could be, you know, at the end of the day. At the end of the day, when it comes to stuff like that, I don't really pay too much attention to that. Again, I stick to what I know and what I can prove to myself. And at the end of the day, all of that is just a distraction. Because once you understand reality and that we're being lied to on a mass scale, then you understand that the solution to all this is to ignore all that, to ignore government, to just live your life. But I can't do that because I'm being pressured to pay a rent, to pay this, to pay that. You have to work, you know. So I can't just live my life right now because we live in a cult. I hate to say it, but a cult forces you to live a certain way, and we're being forced to live a certain way by paying taxes, paying rent, paying bills, and all this. We can't just live free in a piece of land and grow our own food if we wanted to.
Well, do you think that's because of like us living in a cult, or do you think that's just like the result of like the capitalistic society?
Both.
Like capitalistic post-industrialized society.
Yeah, I would say obviously the system, how we have it with certain people to dictators, you could say, presidents, government. All of that, it already shows how people have been conditioned to just follow others, right? So yeah, at the end of the day, it's all about control and just keeping people dumb. You know, at the end of the day, that's what it's about. You know, so yeah, I'm just here, just trying to, hopefully people, start thinking a little bit more about their reality and the simple stuff that can be proven, because that's going to lead you to all the other stuff that, that you wouldn't normally look into. Because this was a subject that opened my mind to government always. I don't know if you knew the word government, it's literally in the name. The word govern means to control, and the word ment comes from the word mind. So control the mind. The whole idea of government is to control people's minds, because that's how you control people's actions, by controlling your mind.
Sorry, I didn't mean to take it.
No, you're no worries, man. Do you have any other questions before you go?
No, that was it. I was just curious.
No, yeah, definitely. That's why I'm here to hopefully people come up to have a chat and hopefully it triggers something in you, maybe to look into it further. Did I give you a flyer, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. My channel's on there. My email. If you have any questions, you can reach out. And I do live streams all the time as well. So.
Yeah. What's your name?
My name's William.
William.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Thanks for the chat. Yeah. Take care. All right. All right, so all right, I think I'm gonna call it today already. Let me put some of this away real quick. If somebody comes up to the table while I'm putting this away, then I'll entertain the chat. But I'm thinking this might be it. We'll see. Just because I gotta put more time on the meter, and it's almost 2 hours, so yeah, I don't want to overdo it on the first day of coming back. Let me see. All right, so that's this. Let's see what else. Comments real quick before calling. Let's see. Go back a little bit. I'm just gonna put a little bit more time. She admires you, William. Good work, man. Remarkable patience. I would have zoned out after the 100th. Like, base truther asking questions is good, but I don't know if she is genuine. I think she's trying to test Will's logic. No, yeah, she was, but again, I think I would do the same too. You know, I could see where all the angles that people try to use. Like I get it. I could easily put myself in people's shoes and see how. You're just trying to pick someone's brain, just to get an idea of where they are overall. It's to see if there's any contradictions in their logic, right? That's why I always try to remain pretty consistent in my logic. Oh, shit. There we go. Let me put... Alright, cool. But yeah, I get it, They want to get a better understanding of where you're coming from in a way, Which I get it, it kind of detracts from the subject, which is, the main reason, but yeah. Alright, I think I'm going to call it already, so thanks to everybody that showed up. I'm going to try to be a little bit more consistent with the activism now that, I've gone through that. You have moved recently, like it could be expensive, it's just a bitch having to unpack, all that shit, but I'm glad I'm glad it happened. I'm in a better position for work. I'm in a better position to do activism, a better position for my family as well, because I don't have that long ass commute I used to have, so I'll be able to spend more time with my family. So overall, it was good that this happened, and this little break that I took. So hopefully now, I'm able to get back on track and try to be consistent, because at the end of the day, it's consistency that pushed this lie, and it's consistency that's gonna expose it. There's just so many people, especially here in the States, like millions of people, that it's just a lot of people that that've been duped. So it's gonna consistency is gonna be key. So yeah, thanks again to everybody that showed up, and see you guys on the next one.